Singh from the IFP. So thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. Good morning and welcome to Radio Islam International.
Good morning and thank you very much, and good morning to all your listeners.
I've always wondered, as opposition party members, with what kind of a mindset do you come to the State of the Nation address? You are not likely to agree with a lot of what the President is going to say.
Yeah, I know you're right. We're not likely to agree, but however, we are there to support, as the IFP, we've always been there to support government and the President. If he puts to us ideas and plans that are implementable in the short, medium and long term. I think the great challenge is that from the last State of the Nation address, the President had a lot of dreams, but those dreams haven't turned into realities for millions of South Africans. And today, we don't want to hear the State of the Nation. I think we all know what the State of the Nation is. It's in a very perilous situation. We want to hear what is going to be done about sorting these problems that exist. And for us as the IFP, I think one of the bigger challenges is not the state of the nation, but the state of the ruling party. The tensions, the differences of opinion within the ruling party from senior leaders on very, very important issues like how you deal with state-owned enterprises, what should happen to SAA, what should happen to the Reserve Bank, expropriation of land without compensation. These are things that we think the President is going to stand up and be bold and take leadership as the President of the ruling party and as the President of the country.
Apart from some of what you've mentioned, the key categories that he definitely has to cover in the State of the Nation address, what would the IFP like to see him cover which he's not expected to cover?
Well, one thing we'd like him to talk about is the independence of the judiciary. I think the attack on the judiciary by certain elements in recent times based on race and other so-called prejudices that they think exist is not something that we can be proud of. People fought hard for the democratic order. Nelson Mandela, was released almost just over 30 years ago, and I don't think he would have wanted this kind of situation, 30 years down, and he would really be lamenting wherever he is, bless his soul, that the country is in such a parlous state. So we would like him. He's going to talk about jobs, but what is the President going to say about jobs? Unemployment has increased. The unemployment amongst the youth is a ticking time bomb. And we don't believe as the IFP that institutions like the NYDA and others are providing any hope to our young people. So I think if he can come up with ideas of self-help, self-reliance, which are policies of the IFP, teach a man how to fish, don't give him a fish. Social grants, 17 million people receiving social welfare grants, it's not going to be something that's going to be sustainable in the medium to long term. Help those people to find jobs, to do their own jobs, monitor how some of them are using those grants, even if they are child grants, because in a number of instances we receive reports that the money given for child grants don't reach the children. So, parents don't buy food and things like that. So there's got to be monitoring mechanisms even at that level. And I think, give people hope, give people dignity, and that's something that's lacking.
Do you think if Nelson Mandela was alive today that he would be deeply disappointed in the ANC?
Absolutely. Absolutely, he would have been extremely disappointed. And sometimes personally, I in hindsight feel disappointed that he left after 5 years in government. He could have had another term. He was still well enough to do that, but I don't know whether he, had enough of the 5 years of government, or whether it was pressure within his own party and others were aspiring to be leaders sooner rather than later that caused that. But I think if he stayed on for another 5 years, there would have been a little more stability in the country that we could have taken forward.
Two quick questions before I let you go. I know you have many media engagements. The EFF, they want to disrupt the State of the Nation address. Let's just call it what it is. What's your take on that? It's becoming a bit monotonous now. They've done it a few times.
Well, it's a right of any party to act in a manner that they want to. But when you're in Parliament, you act within the rules of Parliament, and we all subscribe to the rules of the joint sitting. And the rules are clear in that, if anybody is disruptive, you could take points of order, but if you become disruptive and, like you use the word, monotonous in what you're requesting, which is not the order of the day, then the presiding officers must do whatever they can in terms of the rules. And then one of the options there is asking members to leave if they do not want to listen to the State of the Nation address. As the IFP, we've taken a position that we have our democratic right to respond to the State of the Nation on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And if we want that right upheld, then we must also afford the person who's going to deliver the State of the Nation address the right to deliver that address.
Lastly, how's the IFP doing under the new leadership?
Well, we're doing well. The new leader is settling down very, very well, and the President Emeritus, our former leader, who is still leader of Parliament here, is guiding him to the best of his ability, and I think they make a good team together. And moving forward, we're looking to greener pastures.
Mr. Narend Singh, thank you so much for your time on Radio Islam International this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank
All
you
the best
indeed.
for today.
Thank you very much indeed.